tested a lot of fat bikes that look pretty similar to this, but this is the first one that has a 1,000-watt motor. This is the Obsidian from Mokwheel, and it's a little bit higher in price than your standard entry-level fat bike. This is coming in at $2,400. But what you have here is a full suspension bike. You have air suspension in the rear, hydraulic suspension in the front, a very nice looking paint job, pretty much high-end parts across the handlebars, and a super reactive torque sensor. When you put that all together, take it off-road, hit a single track trail, it is by far the best fat bike for off-road riding that I've tried. You got 5 pedal assist levels, and on the highest of the 5 pedal assist levels when I was just casually pedaling, I could only top the bike out about 24 to 25 miles per hour. It wasn't until I increased my cadence that I hit 31 miles per hour. Now, if you don't want to pedal, there is a nice feeling thumb throttle. The speed of the throttle doesn't depend on the pedal assist level. It'll top out at 19 miles per hour. I'm in the first gear on pedal assist level 5. Oh man, yeah, that power hits right away, and the more pressure you put in the cranks, the faster you go. Now with the throttle, immediate power delivery, power hits right away, and not as fast as pedal assist, but still very poppy. If you got a lot of hills in your city, you will not have to worry. I took it up a half block long, 26% grade hill with momentum and easily made it to the top. I then felt I needed to challenge it more, and I wanted to see if I could make it up that same hill, starting with a standstill. I just got the pedals turning, the bike again was doing 100% of the work. Now let me talk about brakes for a second. Right side controls the rear, left side the front. They got motor cutoff. You're hitting the throttle, nothing's happening. Anyways, I want to show you how long it takes to stop when just casually pedaling, and then at 31 miles per hour. That took me about 25 feet to stop, and that's a straight line. That was very controlled. Still very much in control, and it took me about 13, 14 feet further to stop than the first time. The last test that I did was range, and inside the down section of the tube, there's a 48 volt, 19.5 amp hour Samsung battery. Once I charged it up, which takes about 6 to 7 hours, I took it on a range test. It was a cool day, low 40s for temperature. My average speed was pretty fast at 26 miles per hour, and my app recorded 22.33 miles with 1,648 feet of elevation gain. I've tested a lot of bikes, and those stats are some of the best. One of my favorite features about the bike is the full suspension. In the front, you have your standard hydraulic spring front fork suspension. You can lock that out and adjust. Nothing too special about that. Here's where this bike stands apart from the crowd. This is air suspension, and there's 2 ways to adjust this for your weight. You can put air in or take air out, or you can flip this switch, which increases or decreases the amount of travel. I just thought that was pretty cool. I like how easy that is. Typically, I wouldn't recommend fat bikes for single track trail riding, but there's 3 things that this bike has that changed my mind. The first is the larger motor. So for steep inclines, you have the power to get you to the top. The second thing is the torque sensor. It delivers the right amount of power as you put pressure in the cranks. And when you stop pedaling, it cuts off immediately. And then the third thing, of course, is the suspension. Most fat bikes just have the front fork. They don't have the rear. And when they do have the rear, it's typically a very cheap spring. With this, you got that nice cushy air suspension. You got plenty enough travel to hit some bigger bumps and even some small drops. A few more things I can tell you about the bike is that it does have a rider size of around 5'4" up to 6'5". It can carry up to 400 pounds. In the cockpit, I like the grips. They're very comfortable, and they have their traditional Mokwheel air bubble there. Underneath, you have an 8-speed trigger shifter, which is a higher end shifter. The wiring in the front is all wrapped. They tried to clean that up as nice as they could. Moving back is a large and soft saddle, and there is suspension underneath. And then you have 26 by 4-inch Chaoing tires. My 3 favorite features has got to be the large motor, the nice cushy suspension, and just the reactive torque sensor. Those 3 things just make it one of the best fat bikes in this price that I've tested. Now, if you have any questions or if anything was unclear, hit me up in the comments. I'll also have the link over to Mokwheel if you do want to pick this up, and I'll see if I can get some sort of coupon code or discount for this model. And I will be updating that throughout the year, so be sure to check back to save you a few bucks if you do pick this up. As always, thanks for watching and take care.